Happy wife, happy life. What if I told you that that thinking, that mindset, that way of living is breaking you down as a man and is preventing you from actually having the relationship and the love that you want, is preventing you from growing your business, making more money, and being the father, the leader that I know you want to be. Welcome, everyone, to the Be the Torch podcast. Glad to have you all here on this really oftentimes sensitive topic. Happy wife, happy life. Man, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that phrase, and especially by, men who have been married or in relationships for quite some time, kind of the OGs who are like, yeah, man, just keep her happy and your life would be set. And it's always sat with me a little bit off, and primarily because I really hadn't been able to make a woman truly happy. I previously was married, heard that phrase, and it's almost like we joked about it, like, yeah, well, you need to step up as a man and make your wife happy, and then your life will be happier. And it just was always something always didn't seem quite right for me in that. And so, but it was kind of like a joking thing, like, yeah, okay, we'll make your wife happy. And then I got divorced. I had another relationship, kind of the same thing, joking around with the happy wife, happy life. And it was just kind of this amongst friends and people like, yeah, that's the way you got to do it as a man. And I'm thinking, it's just something just seemed off. It just didn't align with me. What I know now is, boy, did I lose myself in that way of thinking. And it's not like it, by all means, it dominated my life, but I just still today, I hear it on a pretty frequent basis. Happy wife, happy life. Now, here's what I know to be true, not only for myself, but what I see in other men, is that this mindset carries beyond the household, beyond the relationship, and begins to impact in other areas of life. Because you cannot be this gung ho entrepreneur, building a business, managing employees, obtaining new customers, scaling, improving your profits, and then be happy wife, happy life guy at home. It doesn't work that way. We don't live in silos. And so men are losing themselves in this process of trying to keep others happy, whether it's the woman you're in a relationship with, whether it's your employees, whether it's your customers, whether it's your kids. You're not here to be a good boy and do what you're told and giving your balls away. Like, that's not what you're here to do. And so many men are confused because they're like, well, that's what I thought I should do. If I keep my wife happy, then, my life will be happy. And yet I'm not happy. I'm not fulfilled. In fact, I'm overwhelmed. I'm frustrated. I'm lost. I'm now divorced and I'm struggling looking for a new relationship, or I got a new relationship and it's the same old thing, just a different name and maybe some slight different physical changes, but it's the same relationship. And so when we do this, we give up our power. You are here to lead with truth, with power, with your presence and intention. And it starts by killing off this lie, this myth that someone else's happiness is your responsibility. And if you give them that happiness, well, then they'll make your life happy. Doesn't work that way. So as I mentioned, men are losing themselves in this effort to keep others happy, especially women, and it's not working. It's this domestication that you've been domesticated, my man, and this further domestication, and it doesn't feel right, doesn't sit right. It's not working in your relationship, or it is because you're avoidant of the real issues, of the challenges, because you don't want to speak up, and it's best if you just kind of be quiet and just keep her happy. It doesn't serve you and it doesn't serve her. This is not about her. Like, if you're in a relationship now, or if you were in a previous relationship, maybe now you're divorced and you're thinking about finding a new relationship and you're going into it with this mindset, stop. Either whatever scenario you're in, it's time to stop and shift. Shift your mindset, whether you want to be in that relationship or you're looking for a new one, and get out of this domesticating yourself as a good boy. being the nice guy and making her happy. And what I'm going to talk through in just a minute here is there's some myths behind this that you may not be aware of. So when we put our partner's emotions, her happiness before our own needs, when we put our kids' happiness and needs in front of our own way of being, our own leadership, well, it may work in the short term. You may have a good little experience, but in the long run, dude, it's killing you. It's breaking you down. And this goes the same in business. I mean, at some point, you're going to be so exhausted of your employees are paid, but you're not. Your customers are satisfied, but you're not. That's not why you got into business. You got into business for the freedom, for the flexibility, for the profits that you can bring home, the ability to have that autonomy. That's why you got into business. And that's why you got into a relationship, to be able to come to a place to meet someone halfway and grow together. You're not here to play someone else's game, to live someone else's dream, or to play small, my man. You're here to lead. And that starts by waking up from this myth. Now, this whole process begins with a mindset shift. Whether you learn this from watching your father, whether you have absorbed this through Hollywood, through commercials, music, pop culture kind of shares this whole like joking mentality of like, happy wife, happy life. You're not responsible for your partner's happiness. That's her job. You're not responsible for your employees' happiness. That's their job. Your customers, that's their job, not yours. And by doing that, by trying to make them happy, who you not focusing on? Yourself. So you have to keep in mind that you can't do that. That's not your job, nor can you do that. And see, you've been conditioned to believe that if she's happy, that everything is cool. Well, it's just that in the short term, she has either been satiated with connection or love or intimacy, or you did your chores, your weekend chore list, whatever it may be. But the truth is, if you're not aligned, then ultimately everything is going to fall apart. And what I mean by aligned is aligned with you and yourself. And so the second step to this is reframing, to reclaim your power. And it begins, my friend, with truth. So stop pretending like everything's cool. Stop pretending like you are okay with forgetting about your own happiness and well-being to give to hers, thinking that if she has happiness, then you're going to be happy. If you're out of alignment, step into that and own it. That is step number 2, is to own it. So start with the truth. What is the truth? What are you feeling in this? And own that truth, regardless of what she has to say. This is on you. This is your responsibility for your own happiness, not hers, and vice versa. And then lastly, be you. So in reframing this, we're going to start with truth. We're going to own that truth, and then we're going to step into your true, authentic self. This is mastery. The process of being your authentic self is not an easy one, especially because we have not learned that way. You need to understand that there are many different mistakes and myths around this that have perpetuated for years and years, decades, centuries. If she's happy, then I'll be happy is a myth. That is false. Only you can make you happy. You're in charge of your happiness. She's in charge of her happiness. Period. End of story. So stop trying to give all of yourself to get her happy. So then she'll give you some sex, or she'll be nice to you, and then she'll be smiling around the house. Like, that's on her. The second myth is that if you give her love, you love on her well, and you express and show her all her love, that she's going to give it back to you. Well, number one, that's loving with expectation, which is doomed to fail. And number two, she's responsible for loving herself. You're responsible for loving yourself. Man, this is the key. This is the key that I missed for over a decade and a half of being in relationships. One of them, for some of that time, being married. I didn't get this. See, if you need love, if you need happiness, and you're looking outside for it, you are going to be incredibly disappointed. Because there's something incredibly powerful about coming from a place of doing something for the sake of being of service, because you don't need it. Yes, when you love yourself, when you are able to give yourself happiness, you don't need it from anyone else. And thus, it doesn't create this pressure and this stress to make someone happy. So they'll be happy, give you happiness back. There's just this dynamic of being separate and saying, I'm in charge of me, she's in charge of her. And when you can love yourself and when you can make yourself happy, you're in charge of that. You take that ownership off of her and vice versa. It allows each one of you individually to grow. And then you all can grow together to experience a level of service that you've never experienced before in relationship. So your job is to love yourself and then be of service as a lover, partner, in intimacy, in sex, to the woman that you're with, without expectation, because you don't need it. Sure, it would be nice to be in a partnership with someone who's in service back to you, because if she can love herself, only then can she truly love you. So if you're telling me that, hey, I want to find a woman now, Cletus, I've been divorced, went through this whole thing, and I want to find someone that truly loves me, for me, and all this, awesome, beautiful. It starts with you. You got to love you for you before she can. I want to find someone who makes me happy. You are going to be looking for a hell of a long time. Nobody's going to make you happy. That's on you. So if you're in that position when you're out preparing to look, or interested, single, whatever, it's time for you to go all in on you so that you can elevate your frequency of love and happiness and joy and fulfillment. And then you're going to attract someone who has that same level, that same energy, that same frequency. Your vibrations, energetic vibrations, will connect with one another. And all of a sudden you're like, wow, where did you come from? You're a unicorn, you're a soulmate, like whatever that label you want to put on it. But bottom line is, you took care of you, and you're able to attract someone who took care of themselves. Healed man, healed woman, then you all can develop and heal together and grow in service to one another. As I mentioned, it definitely starts with truth. It then goes to owning that truth and being your true, authentic self. So you cannot make someone else happy. You can make yourself happy. You can love you, so that if you're telling me, hey, Cletus, I want to find someone that I can love. I want to find, I love my kids. I love my girlfriend, or I love my wife, or whatever. Yeah. And I want you to be able to love yourself first, because you can't love them truly, fully, authentically until you love yourself first. The challenge is most men give up on that because they're afraid to face the truth and what they're going to find. Because it may be that you come to truth about who you are, you own it, and you realize that you love you, you're authentically being you, and the person that you're with is unaccepting of you. And that might be hard to hear, because you've been with this person for a long time. You love this person. And when you show up as you, they're not cool with it. Like, I want the old you. I don't want the real you. And there you have misalignment. Well, that's a challenge where you, by not being your true authentic self from the very beginning, have now put yourself in an interesting predicament. And not being yourself is not an option. So it's being you and loving you and finding happiness within yourself, and then working on being of service to your partner, and without expectation. She may not accept it. She may not like it. You're out there dating women and you're showing up as you and showing up in service, and they may not be accepting of that. Okay. Oh, well, move on. That's not your job. That's their job to take care of them. So there's obviously various ways in which we can do this. All of the work that we do for men in the Be the Torch programs really is emphasizing becoming this man capable first of leading himself first, so that he can then lead others. And especially as it relates to business, as I mentioned at the very beginning, we do not live in silos. So guys, this is your wake up call, because if you are acting and behaving this way at home, you're most likely acting and behaving this way at the office. And happy employee, happy functioning business, I get my tasks done because they're happy. It's not the way, but you're suffering. It doesn't work that way. It shouldn't work that way. At some point, it's going to crash and burn. There's going to be a collapse. So you need to reclaim you. Start by telling the truth. Start by focusing in on you. I do have a free resource to help you do that. And that is my Master Your Morning cheat sheet. If you go to cletuscoffey.com/morning, you can get access to the cheat sheet. Go ahead and download that. There's a series of videos that helps walk you through how to use it. But it's a great way for you to create a discipline in the morning to focus in on you and just getting it. It's just a small piece of your day to get in the habit of mastering this part of going all in on you. And once you create a habit out of that, dude, lights out. Transformational. I don't say that lightly. Very, very transformational. That's cletuscoffey.com/morning to access your Master Your Morning cheat sheet. The other thing is staying in tune with our channels here. So, if this is something that is powerful for you, you can keep accessing this content. Just please subscribe to the channel here. And then that way, when I hit the launch of a new episode, it comes immediately to you. And then when you're in the car or at a place where you can kick back and engage with this, you can continue to learn and grow. So a lot of free resources through my channel here as well. If you've been living the happy wife, happy life lie, and you're ready to step out of that and actually lead for your benefit, and if you're still in a relationship, for her benefit. You see, she doesn't benefit from being the taskmaster, to being the controller, to being locked in her masculine, telling you what to do because she's got your balls in her hand. That doesn't benefit her. She needs to be able to step back into her feminine so that she can show up as the divine beauty that she is, and not relying on you to make her happy. She's got to be able to make herself happy. Give her that opportunity to do that. And that's going to require setting some boundaries. That's going to require being truthful and owning your happiness. Even if she's not happy, well, she's going to have to be able to work through that, just as you are going to have to be work through your happiness, so that you can come to a place where together you all can continue to grow and be of service, of love and connection, happiness to one another. At the end of the day, you don't need to keep her happy. You need to be aligned. You need to be grounded. You need to be connected to your true, authentic self from inside out. That's power. That's where you create a powerful relationship, a powerful business, a powerful connection with your children. And that, my friend, is what builds a powerful legacy. Be the torch, my friends. Catch you on the next one.